There is a massive, unspoken wager that has been placed on the table of modern society. It was a high-stakes bet made by modern culture, by media, and by millions of women. The bet was simple. They believed that men were biologically incapable of being alone. They believed that the male drive for sex, for companionship, and for family was so overwhelming that men would eventually tolerate any price to get it. They thought that if they raised the cost of relationships, if they increased the criticism, if they removed the appreciation, and if they made the standards impossible, men would just work harder. They banked on the idea that loneliness would break men before disrespect did. But they miscalculated. Badly. Right now, if you open TikTok or Instagram, you will see a flood of videos from women asking the same desperate question: where have all the good men gone? They are confused. They are panicking. They are looking at a dating market that feels like a ghost town. Meanwhile, where are those men? They aren't protesting in the streets. They aren't crying in their pillows. They are in their apartments. They are cooking a steak exactly the way they like it. They are playing Call of Duty with their friends. They are building businesses. They are sleeping 8 hours a night. And for the first time in their adult lives, they are experiencing something addictive: silence. They have discovered that the threat of loneliness was actually a promise of freedom. Let me tell you about a client of mine. Let's call him Mark. Successful structural engineer, top 10% earner, 38 years old. 3 years ago, he was married, and he was dying. Not physically, but spiritually. His ex-wife spent a decade acting as his personal auditor. She criticized how he loaded the dishwasher. She criticized how he breathed while watching TV. She mocked his hobbies as childish. Mark was on blood pressure medication. He was balding from stress. He walked on eggshells in his own home, terrified that leaving a cup in the sink would trigger a 3-hour lecture on his lack of emotional intelligence. Today, Mark lives alone. His blood pressure is down 20 points. His hair is actually thicker. He looks 10 years younger. When I asked him if he was looking to date again, he laughed, a genuine, deep belly laugh. He said, "Why would I invite a critic back into my piece? Why would I sign up for a performance review in my own living room?" Mark is not an outlier. He is the vanguard. Millions of men are waking up to the same realization: the game is rigged, the price is too high, and the prize is often just more stress. Welcome to the Aphorism Archive. Today, we are documenting the Great Walk Away. To understand why men are leaving, we must first understand what they are leaving from. It is rarely a single catastrophic event. Men are resilient. We can handle crises. We can handle storms. What destroys a man is not the hurricane, it is the drip. It is the phenomenon of chronic emotional erosion. Let me tell you about a client of mine. Let's call him James. James is a 38-year-old structural engineer. He spends his days calculating loads for bridges, ensuring that thousands of tons of steel don't collapse and kill people. It is a high-stress, high-consequence job. For 10 years, James came home to a wife who acted as his personal auditor. Before he could take his boots off, the lecture began. "You loaded the dishwasher wrong. You're breathing too loud while watching TV. Why did you buy that brand of milk? You never listen. Your hobbies are stupid. Why are you wasting time on that?" James didn't leave because of infidelity. He didn't leave because he stopped loving her. He left because his blood pressure was 160/100, and his doctor told him he was going to have a stroke before he hit 40. He was suffering from what I call the exhaustion of not being enough. In many modern relationships, the home has ceased to be a sanctuary. It has become a second workplace. The man leaves his boss at the office, only to come home to a task manager who is impossible to please. This constant, low-level criticism is often dismissed as nagging, a word that sounds harmless. But neurologically, it is devastating. When a human being is subjected to constant negative feedback, the brain enters a state of hypervigilance. Cortisol floods the system. The man begins to walk on eggshells. He monitors his own behavior, trying to predict what will trigger the next outburst. Will sitting on this chair wrong cause a fight? Will chewing this food annoy her? Will forgetting to text back in 5 minutes ruin the weekend? This is not a partnership. This is a hostage situation. And what makes it tragic is that men are problem solvers by nature. When a man hears a complaint, his instinct is to fix it. She complains about the chores. He does more chores. She complains about money. He works more overtime. She complains about lack of romance. He plans a date night. But he soon realizes that the goalposts move. The moment he fixes the chores, the complaint shifts to his emotional availability. The moment he becomes available, the complaint shifts to his lack of ambition. He realizes he is running on a hamster wheel. The criticism is not about the milk, or the socks, or the money. The criticism is an expression of her internal unhappiness, a void that he is being tasked to fill. But you cannot fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. You can pour your entire soul into it, and she will still be empty, and you will be dry. Why does this happen? Why do partners who claim to love each other engage in this emotional terrorism? It comes down to a fundamental misunderstanding of emotional regulation. In the modern narrative, men are told that we must be emotionally available. We are told we must be supportive. But in practice, this often translates to, "You are responsible for regulating my emotions." A woman comes home frustrated from her job. She feels unfulfilled. She feels anxious about her social standing. She feels insecure about her body. These are internal battles. But instead of fighting those battles internally, or with a therapist, she externalizes them. She looks for a target. And the safest, most convenient target is the man sitting on the couch. She screams about the sock on the floor. Logic dictates, pick up the sock. But it's not about the sock. The sock is a symbol. The sock represents her feeling that her life is chaotic. So, when the man picks up the sock, she doesn't calm down. She gets angrier. Why? Because the sock wasn't the problem. The problem is existential. And by trying to fix the sock, he failed to fix her existential crisis. This dynamic turns the man into an emotional punching bag. He becomes the receptacle for all her negative energy. And here's the kicker, he is not allowed to have needs. If he has a bad day, he is expected to be stoic. If he complains, he is whining. If he withdraws to recharge, he is emotionally distant. He is expected to be a rock for her waves to crash against, but eventually, even rocks erode. I see men who have been in this prison for 20 years. They are shells. Their eyes are dead. They have abandoned their friends because she didn't like them. They have sold their motorcycles or gaming consoles because those are childish. They have stopped seeing their families because her family is more important. They have systematically amputated every part of their identity that she found inconvenient, hoping that if they cut off enough pieces of themselves, they would finally fit into the box of her expectations. But the box keeps getting smaller. Until one day, something snaps. Maybe it's a fight about a napkin. Maybe it's seeing a divorced friend smiling at a bar. Maybe it's just looking in the mirror and not recognizing the gray, tired face staring back. And the realization hits, I am alone in this relationship. And if I am going to be alone, I might as well be in peace. If the criticism wasn't enough, we must discuss the standard of the impossible avatar. Social media has destroyed the ability for many modern women to appreciate reality. They are fed a diet of curated highlights, 60-second clips of the best moments of the best lives of the top 0.1% of the population. They see a fitness influencer's body. They see a billionaire's lifestyle. They see a romance novel's level of emotional intuition. And they synthesize these fragments into a single expectation for a partner. They want a man who is a ruthless killer in business, to provide the luxury lifestyle, but a soft, empathetic therapist at home, to validate feelings. They want a man who is dominant and takes charge, to satisfy biological attraction, but who is submissive and never challenges her, to satisfy her ego. They want a man who is always working, ambition, but always available, attention. These are contradictions. They are mutually exclusive traits. The energy required to conquer the world and build an empire is not the same energy required to sit and discuss feelings for 3 hours. The aggression required to protect a family is not the same as the softness required to nurture one. But because she sees these traits scattered across 50 different men on her Instagram feed, she believes they should all exist in one man, you. When you fail to be this Frankenstein's monster of perfection, she feels cheated. She feels she settled. She looks at you with contempt. And men feel that contempt. It burns. A man can survive without sex. He can survive without a home-cooked meal. But a man cannot survive without respect. Respect is the oxygen of masculinity. When you cut off the oxygen, the man dies. Or, he leaves the room to find air elsewhere. This is the game-rigged realization. Men are realizing that the scorecard is weighted against them. If you do the housework, you did it wrong. If you don't do it, you're lazy. If you lead, you're controlling. If you follow, you're weak. There is no path to victory. There is only management of defeat. And once a rational actor realizes a game is unwinnable, the only logical move is to stop playing. While the men in relationships are suffocating, the single men are dealing with a different kind of hell, invisibility. We have to talk about the data. The numbers don't lie, even if feelings do. Dating apps have revealed the brutal reality of female hypergamy in the digital age. Data shows that women rate approximately 80% of men as below average in attractiveness. Think about the statistical impossibility of that. In a bell curve, average is the middle. Most people are average. That is the definition. But to the modern eye, conditioned by filters and celebrity culture, the average man is invisible. He does not register as a romantic option. He is background noise. The dating market has become a winner-take-all economy. Women are fiercely competing for the top 10% to 20% of men, the tall, rich, charismatic, handsome archetypes. These top-tier men have unlimited options. They are drowning in attention. Consequently, they have no incentive to commit to one woman. Why would they? They have the buffet to themselves. So, you have a situation where a large population of women is sharing a small population of top-tier men, getting used, getting their hearts broken, and then screaming, "Men are trash." Meanwhile, the 80% of men, the guys who would be loyal, who would fix the sink, who would coach the little league team, who would be there when she gets sick, are ghosts. They are swiped left on. They are ignored at the bar. And for the last 20 years, society told these men, leave women alone. Don't approach at the gym. That's harassment. Don't approach at work. That's inappropriate. Don't approach in public. That's creepy. So, the average man, being a logical creature, listened. He said, okay. I will respect your boundaries. He stopped approaching. He stopped initiating. He retreated to his hobbies, his career, and his friends. He took his ball and went home. Now, we see the irony. Women are complaining that men no longer court them. They complain that men are passive. You cannot spend 2 decades telling a demographic that their presence is unwanted and then complain about their absence. You cannot criminalize male attention and then mourn the death of romance. The men didn't die. They just moved to a place where they were welcome, solitude. This brings us to the present moment. The great walk away. The media wants you to believe that these single men are miserable angels crying in their basements. They want you to believe that a life without a woman is a life without meaning. But the reality on the ground is starkly different. Men are experiencing a renaissance of self. When a man removes the drain of a toxic relationship or the exhausting pursuit of women who don't want him, his resources accumulate rapidly. First, financial wealth. The bachelor tax is a myth. The relationship tax is real. Single men control their own spending. There are no apology vacations. There are no expensive dinners to buy forgiveness for imaginary crimes. There is no lifestyle creep to impress a partner. The money stays in the account. Men are retiring early. They are buying the toys they actually want. They are investing. Second, physical health. Without the cortisol spike of daily arguments, the body heals. I've seen men drop 30 pounds within 6 months of a breakup. Not because they are trying to attract a new mate, but because they finally have the time to cook healthy meals and go to the gym without being accused of spending too much time away from the family. Sleep quality improves. Anxiety vanishes. Third, creative energy. Think of the mental bandwidth required to navigate a minefield of a modern relationship. The constant decoding of texts, the managing of emotions, the strategic planning to avoid conflict. When that bandwidth is freed up, it goes somewhere. Men are writing books. They are coding software. They are restoring cars. They are learning languages. They are building communities. Men are rediscovering the joy of male friendship. In a controlling relationship, the first casualty is usually the man's friends. I don't like Dave. He drinks too much. Why do you have to hang out with them every Friday? But when the man is free, the brotherhood returns. And he remembers something important. Male friendship offers a kind of unconditional acceptance that romantic relationships rarely do. Your friends don't care if you gain 5 pounds. They don't care if you left a cup in the sink. They don't analyze your tone of voice. They just want to know if you're ready to game, to fish, or to build something. Men are realizing they don't need a woman to survive. The old leverage was, you need a wife to cook, clean, and manage the home. Today, we have washing machines. We have meal prep services. We have Roombas. We have YouTube tutorials for everything. The survival utility of a partner is gone. Now, a partner is a luxury good. And if a luxury product costs too much and causes more stress than joy, the rational consumer stops buying it. Because men are thriving in silence, the culture is panicking. When the consumer stops buying the product, the seller doesn't improve the product. Instead, they try to shame the consumer into buying it anyway. You hear the shaming tactics everywhere. Man up. Who hurt you? You're just afraid of intimacy. You're going to die alone. Let's dismantle these, one by one. Man up has lost its power. It used to mean be strong. Now, men hear it as, shut up, get back on the plantation, and sacrifice yourself for people who despise you. We aren't falling for it anymore. Who hurt you? This is a deflection. It implies that wisdom only comes from trauma. But you don't need to be traumatized to see that a burning building is unsafe. You just need eyes. Men aren't acting out of trauma, they are acting out of logic. You're going to die alone. We all die alone. But living alone in peace is infinitely better than living together in hell. I would rather die alone at 80 after a life of freedom than die at 55 from a stress-induced heart attack because my wife hasn't let me sleep in peace for a decade. These tactics are failing because men have compared the data points. They look at their married friends. They see the exhaustion. They see the divorce settlements where the man loses the house, the kids, and half his pension. Then they look at their single life. The freedom. The peace. The comparison isn't even close. Men have done the math. The ROI, return on investment, of modern marriage for the average man is negative. The risk is catastrophic. The reward is a roommate who resents you. No deal. So, where does this leave us? We are in a period of market correction. Men are on strike. Not an organized political strike. We didn't hold a meeting. It is a biological strike. A withdrawal of energy. This terrifies the world because they never had a plan B for men walking away. They thought biology would force us to stay. They underestimated the male capacity for adaptability. We evolved to hunt alone if necessary. We evolved to survive winters. We can handle solitude. In fact, we often thrive in it. To the women asking, where have all the good men gone? The answer is simple. They are still here. They are everywhere. They are the men fixing your power lines. They are the men writing the code for your apps. They are the men keeping civilization running. But they have erected a wall around their personal lives. They are polite. They are professional. But they are closed for business. They will not reopen until the terms of the deal change. Men want relationships. We love women. We are wired to protect and provide. It is our deepest instinct. But we only want to protect those who appreciate us. We only want to provide for those who respect us. Until appreciation and respect return to the menu, the restaurant is going to stay empty. So, gentlemen, if you are finding peace in your solitude, do not let them shame you. You are not broken. You are not a failure. You are a pioneer. You are reclaiming your life. Enjoy your steak. Enjoy your video games. Enjoy your silence. You earned it. I want to hear from the men in the trenches. Are you happier alone than you were in your last relationship? What was the specific moment, the breaking point, where you realized I'm done? Drop your story in the comments. Let's build an archive of truth right here, so the younger generation can learn from our experience. And if you want to understand the deeper dynamics of female psychology and male self-improvement, subscribe to the Aphorism Archive. We don't sell comforting lies. We sell the uncomfortable truth. And the truth will set you free.